I mean, now you've dropped the wacky world of chemical engineering for these other pursuits. So, um, it what took you so long? I guess.
Jordan's like, what the hell, man? Like, honestly, I'm gonna kind of keep going back to my martial arts training is when you learn certain values or like you develop certain values in something. So for me, like, loyalty and discipline are like two big things to me. And the idea of quitting, like, you can take it two ways, right? It's like one thing, it's like, okay, I want to do this thing that sometimes it's really hard and I can only fail if I quit. So I really want to like stick to it. But sometimes that mindset can work against you where it's like, oh, I don't want to quit anything because it's maybe, I've convinced myself it's a sign of weakness, or maybe just the feeling of quitting feels hard because you have to deal with like people's emotions.
Right.
Um, so I think honestly, man, it's just I think I convinced myself I had to do it all for a long time. Plus, I can't, like, living in Somerville, Cambridge, where there's a lot of biotech. Biotech is a very, lucrative industry. It pays well. There's like good, uh, what's the word? Like when I talk to about it with people, like, oh, you're a chemical engineer, like that's really good. There's a lot of like good notoriety with it. Um, it felt like I needed to do it for a while, but then probably the last 3 or 4 years of my tenure at Momenta, I started to feel the attrition kind of setting on. It's like, man, like why do I feel just like it's a pain to get up in the morning and go to work? And I realized like I didn't really see myself 5, 10 years down the line, like, what am I going to be doing? I could say something like, I want to be a director or I want to be this level, but I didn't see myself doing the work to get there. I saw myself like, oh, this is what happens. You get promoted. But I was like, wait, that's not how it worked in Taekwondo. I wasn't given a belt. I wasn't given my black belt. I wasn't given like teaching opportunities. I had to work for those. And I realized like I probably am not going to want to work for what I would want to see myself doing in this field. And that's one of those like kind of come to Jesus, like, man, maybe it's time. But because of all those other things, like the financial, the benefits, the security, it was like, man, that's a tough like balloon to let go. You want to kind of hold on to it. And I think I honestly, that last year, I probably convinced myself at some point there was going to be some type of like signal that I was like, okay, this is the sign that it's time to go. And it didn't ever really slap me in the face until they were like, hey, you're all fired. And it was like, this is it. It's like they're calling my number now. Like, that's me. Oh, severance? Cool, that's me. So it kind
Yeah.
of like I've read stories about like different people's professional experience on like how they approach things, and like what some people literally just go with the flow, and whatever's presented to them, they're like, oh, this is the thing that I'm doing now. And I feel like I kind of fall into that. It's like, oh, this is the challenge I'm forced with now. All right, here we go, let's make it work. So yeah, man, I don't have a good reason other than just I think I felt like obligated to be this, you know, jack of all trades. Like I got to do it all. I my discipline started to work against me, and I see that now. And now it's like, okay, maybe I can foresee something like that in the future, and hopefully work before it, makes me feel some kind of way.